Hey guys, it's Sudha. Today I've come up with baklava recipe. It is a super simple and delicious Arabic dessert. It's normally made in square form, but today I'm going to be making it in a cupcake tray in flower form. It looks amazing and it's also simple to make, but if you want you can go ahead and make it in the square form. It's just the same recipe but in a different shape. We basically have filo sheets, which is baklava pastry sheets. And we'll cut them into 8 cm squares, line them up, keep it in the baking tray, and then we'll keep the pistachio mixture on top. It's super simple to make. Without any further ado, let's get on to making it. So first we'll need filo sheets. These are baklava pastry sheets. These are very thin sheets, so these are mainly used for making baklavas only, nothing else. And you need baklava pastry sheets itself. You cannot use any other spring roll pastry or anything because these are very thin and specially made for baklavas. So if you use any other sheets, it's not going to work out. You should be using filo pastry leaves. So these are how baklavas usually look, but then today I'm going to be making it in the cupcake form. It's going to look like a flower. So if you want, you can go ahead and make it in this way. This is very easy to find. Filo sheets you will find in pastry areas. Exactly in the frozen areas you'll find filo sheets. In any market it's very simple to find, so you can go ahead and buy it. Now I'm going to open these pastry sheets up. You should be very careful while opening filo sheets because they're very thin, they dry out very easily, and also it just starts cracking, so you need to be very careful. So as you can see, each of these sheets are really thin and they're very soft, so be careful while handling it. You can see your hand through it, it's that thin. Now I'm going to totally open it up. So now I'm going to cut these up into 8 cm squares. So my cupcake tray is really big, that is the reason I'm using 8 cm squares. If your cupcake tray is mini ones, the small ones, then you can go ahead and make it into 4 cm squares. So it depends upon your cupcake tray what the size of your squares are going to be. So I'm going to measure out 2.5 inches, that is exactly 8 centimeters. And I'm going to make a small cut over here. So do the same on the other side, and line it up and cut it. So I'm going to overlap this and cut another strip. So here I've cut down the sheets and now I'm going to cut it in this way. Here also 2.5 inches, that is exactly 8 centimeters, so you want an 8 centimeter square. So here I've cut down the squares, 8 centimeter squares. Now I'm gonna close these up and keep this back in the refrigerator so that I can use it another day. You need to cover it properly or else it'll start drying up and then you cannot use it another time. So cover it properly and keep this in the refrigerator, and we're gonna use these. And also I took this out 2 hours before using it from the refrigerator. I took it and kept it 2 hours before using it from the refrigerator and allowed it to cool down, and then I used it. So always make sure you take it out 2 hours before using it out of the refrigerator, and then you can use it. So here I have everything ready. I have my baklava sheets. This I have covered it with just a cloth because you always need to keep it covered or else it's going to get dried out really fast. Then I have a brush, a pastry brush, and I have melted butter to brush the pastry leaves and the cupcake liners with. And here I have the cupcake tray. So I'm just going to roughly brush the cupcake tray with butter because we're also going to use a lot of butter in the baklava pastry. So just roughly brush it. So here from the baklava sheets, I'm going to take around 10 to 12 sheets out, and we're going to use it for making the first baklava flour. So here I have 10 to 12 sheets. So I'm just brushing the surface with some butter at first, keeping the first sheet on top. And brush this also really well with the butter. Now you're going to take the second sheet and overlap it on top. This first sheet, the pointy edge was at this side, and this time you're going to keep the pointy edge on top. Next sheet, take it and keep it onto this edge. Last time it was here, this time it should be here. The sheets are really thin, that is the reason why we cannot even see it. Now this time we're going to overlap it to this edge. And just keep making a flower shape just like that. So keep rounding it, looking at the edges. Use the knife and lift the sheets. They're very small, so not actually visible. So you can see the flower shape. So this is the shape that you exactly want. And now I'm going to keep this onto the cupcake tray. So let me show you how I'm going to keep it. Just gonna use my hand and press it in. So just press it in each of the edges, and then you'll get this flower shape, which is gonna really look good. So now just keep doing the same thing. Take 10 to 12 filo sheets, brush it with butter, keep overlapping it. Each layer, make sure you brush it with butter, keep overlapping it, and then keep it into your cupcake tray. Make it into a flower shape, and then we can bake it. So here I have layered the filo sheets and floured it and kept it onto the tray. It's totally ready, and now I'm going to keep this in an oven for around 10 minutes. 10 minutes will not be needed, maybe around 7 minutes, or also it can take 12 minutes. It's according to the oven you use. Filo sheets are really thin, so they get baked really easily. So keep an eye on it. When it's totally baked, you can take it out. I've kept the filo sheets for baking, and by that time, we're going to make up the pistachio mixture. All it needs is cut up pistachios with some honey. Honey is optional, and then we need sugar and water. Sugar I have 1 cup, water I have half cup, and then pistachios as needed, and then around 2 tablespoons of honey. So here I have a pan heating up, and into it I'm going to add in the water and the sugar. I'm going to add in the sugar into the heating pan. Along with it, I'm going to pour in half a cup of water. So now let the sugar dissolve and keep mixing till then. After that, we'll just bring it to a boil and add in the rest of the ingredients. So here The sugar syrup is almost ready, and into it I'm going to pour in around a teaspoon of lemon juice because it crystallizes really fast. So to avoid crystallization, just around a teaspoon of lemon juice. I'm just going to off the flame. So I've took it out of the flame, and into it I'm going to pour in around 2 teaspoons of honey. And instead of honey, you can also use golden syrup. Golden syrup will work fine too. Just pouring the honey or the golden syrup to give it a nice brown color. Into it, I'm going to add in the pistachios. Now it is a bit watery, but then after around 10 minutes, it's going to become more thick. After this cools down, the sugar syrup will get really thick. So I'm going to set this aside for around 10 minutes so that it becomes cool and gets thickened. So here my Filo sheets are perfectly baked, and I kept this in a 180-degree oven for around 10 minutes. The timing will differ according to your oven heat. And as you can see right now, these Filo sheets are really brown on the sides. And the inside is going to stay like that, but the outside is going to be really brown. So that is what you're looking for while baking your Filo sheets. And here I have the mixture, the pistachio mixture, and as you can see, it's really thick right now. And if you let it cool for around 10 more minutes, then it's going to be really thick into a nice sauce consistency. So this is also going to work fine. Now all we have to do is take this out of the pan, and then we can serve it with the pistachio mixture. So I'm going to take these Filo sheets out of the cupcake liners and keep it onto a tray. I have put the perfect amount and the ingredients for this in the description down below, so you can go check it out. And now all we have to do is scoop this mixture into the hollow part here. So here our delicious flower shaped baklavas are ready. Hope everybody tries it out. They're super delicious and they're also really good. They look really delicious, and I hope everybody tries it out. It's a very simple recipe. Hope everybody liked it, and if you liked this video, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe and comment. Thanks for watching. Love cooking.